Hello and welcome to Future Balls. I think this is the penultimate episode of the season. We don't have a bingo ball machine. We've got just 7 topics left, so we're going to shake them a bit and see what we get. Oh yeah, I'm Tristan Grace.
Yeah. I'm Nate Dogs. Nate Diddley and Waters.
First up, we've got satellites. Okay. Now, what type of satellites? Man-made or universal style? Universal. And the second one, we've got money. Satellites and money.
Oh, Dogecoin. Dogecoin on Starlink satellites. There you go.
Done.
Doge's life.
Hells yeah.
I think Elon said before on Twitter that he plans to have Dogecoin operate through the Starlink network.
That's a really clever idea. Makes it very difficult to actually destroy any of the network if it's all the way up there.
Or lasers.
Yeah, I guess there's lasers. I think they did that with Bitcoin. They actually launched it out, or they're putting it on a probe and launching it. But you still need to maintain a connection. It's not like you just have the blockchain and you just send it away and then it's not connected to anything else. It doesn't really work that way.
Yeah, I think that was just an excuse to raise money.
I think so too.
It sounds cool, and I'm sure people put money into it. So, that's a good couple of years of work for you.
I wonder if you could have a whole bunch of them just that perpetually keep on launching. And so what they could do is they form like a chain going all the way out into the solar system. So you've got like a chain of satellites, one launched, say, every week or so.
This is your fucking barrel thing again.
Yeah, exactly. The barrel thing again. But since they're all talking and transmitting the information back and forth, it's like an absolutely guaranteed truth version, because it'd be very, very difficult to destroy them.
If there's that many.
Yeah, if it's going that far out, you'd need an even faster rocket to be able to even get out there. Like once it's actually been going for, say, 5 years in one direction, get further than Voyager. Like, can't stop us now.
We still need a really good meme for your whiskey barrel satellites. What would you call them? Just barrel satellites, or?
Yeah, barrel sats.
Barrel sats. Can you concatenate that more? Like
bats.
Bats.
Launch a bat.
Whiskey sats.
Bat swarm. Whiskey sats.
I like whiskey sats. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. If you do it with blockchain stuff, then Sats already has the whole Satoshi Bitcoin thing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Crowdfund that.
So what's going to end up happening? Like, I feel like we haven't seen space be properly monetized yet. I think that's going to be one of the biggest changes that SpaceX with the giant fuck off rocket.
Starship,
that's the one. Is it BFG? BFR or something?
I think they changed the name of the booster. I think it's just a super heavy booster at the moment.
Oh, well, that's fun. But yeah, actually opening that up, so when you could just, like the same way that you post something, you could just post something to space, just really making it viable for anyone to do anything. I feel like that's not there yet.
It's getting closer. Hey, I think his plan is to get it down to like $100 per kilo.
Hells yeah.
Which would be like orders of magnitude insane. I think at the moment it's still a few $1,000s per kilo, but if you could do that, that'd be insane.
How cool would it be, like, just say launching a phone, you just have the camera running, like, a big battery pack attached to it, like maybe a little thruster on it, you just launch it as it gets launched from the spaceship. So like, say, like, I don't know, maybe 10 grand or something, but we were talking before about like Mr. Beast doing like crazy shit and people raising money and just launching out a whole bunch of phones. It's just like, recording the Earth in cool ways. Or if you have enough battery power there to, say, run the phone for, I don't know, like a month, you could just launch a whole bunch out somewhere and see cool shit. Launch it at the moon. I wonder if there are any laws or regulations. Say if you got some space on the rocket and you just launch shit at the moon and just watch it start blowing up on there, like you're video recording it the whole way down. That'd be great.
It's like that idea years ago of like putting ads on the moon, either projecting or putting lasers or something, but instead you just launch projectiles at it and just create char marks. Just a big Macca's symbol just written in like satellite impacts.
Oh man. It would all have to be regulated. I wonder what laws there are now, because like the amount of damage you could do, not to mention just polluting astral bodies, like that's not that cool.
Yeah. I'm guessing you've got to, like, even if you're doing a CubeSat now, you've got to register it on the manifest, and then the FAA has to approve each launch or something in the US.
Yeah.
I'm guessing something like that happens.
You'd think so. Be interesting. Like, a lot more innovation could happen, but a lot more dangerous things could too.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to add
How
in
else would you-
another ball,
Yeah,
just
okay.
because they're very basic ones, these two. Let's do the third. Shake, shake, shake. Third one is BCI.
Okay.
Brain-computer
tapping,
interfaces.
tapping into the satellites. So you can feel how the satellites feel. You can merge their data with your consciousness.
I like that.
You get a global perspective.
Hells yeah, you're seeing everything all at once. Yeah, everyone just has this calm wash over them. They realize, oh, we're just on this little blue rock. What was it? One of those old school ideas back in like the golden age of sci-fi and stuff was like the noosphere. Or it's like the psychic sphere of the Earth. It's kind of like you could start building that if you've got satellites going around the entire Earth and you're actually, jacked into them. Like, cool. I am just thinking as a planet.
That's trippy. Like more of a bit of a Gaia feel going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Human brains merge with the like millions of mesh net satellites. They're just surrounding the Earth, watching everything, seeing everything that's happening in real time and historical time.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool. Like one of the cool things satellites has obviously done now is fuck, my voice keeps crackling. Have done is seen like the changes in the landscape over time.
Yeah.
So imagine if you could consciously tap into that sense of long time scales. Like humans are obviously shit at to us like a week is a long time, but like if you could tap into the recorded data of satellites and you could see like, oh shit, like here's what we're doing to the landscape here. Like that's probably bad. So you could like be aware of it, or be aware of the destruction we're doing. But then you could also do the flip side of that, and you could be like, okay, let's do super long-term planning. Let's tap into the consciousness of these satellites, that what the data they're providing is. And, this project we're planning, like this new town or whatever, like let's think of it in terms of like 100-year scale. Like how do we map it out so we're actually going to like create a really good, solar punk future rather than just like smash and burn everything now to get your quick money out.
I really like that idea. More immersed in that would be just awesome. Like, you've probably done this before, but I remember spending a night doing it, going on to Google Earth and just changing the time to the very first they've won, and then just watching the city grow. It's amazing just seeing how it like spirals out and fractally grows, like going around Sydney, Wollongong, like Melbourne, Adelaide. It was so cool watching them go out. Canberra was really cool. I didn't do it with other countries one time. I want to do that again. It was really fun. It's because there's a ton of info, and just seeing how the city grows was epic.
Yeah.
Because again,
have you seen some of the GeoGuessr games that people have been playing?
Yeah, I've never. I see it recommended on YouTube. I've never actually played it or watched any.
It's more Street View, but yeah,
it'd be cool. Well, yeah. So say with BCI, we've got satellites and all of the say sensors on the ground at the moment. Do you think it'll be when you're connected to it, it's like you're feeling it all at once, or it's kind of like the internet now? I mean, we only see one or two things at once. Could we actually expand our minds more, or are we still going to be limited to just viewing one type of information or focusing on one bit?
I don't know. Maybe like I think that's always been an issue of like you have a little tiny brain trying to access all this extra information, and at some point you have to just take a snapshot of something or like a combined aggregate of it. Like you can't really see the whole picture at once. So then maybe you just boil it down to like an average, and then you're just getting like I mean, I guess we do that already. Like we take big topics, big picture things, and we boil them down to like something like anthropomorphized or whatever, where you can like really understand it, like at our level. Yeah. So maybe you would still do that, even if you had, some sort of vague abstract thing of like BCI connected to the satellites that we're pulling at straws on.
Oh man.
Where else can we go with it? Where we're just like, oh, our brains are now the satellites.
Well, yeah. What was the other ball? It was money, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. So money in BCI. Okay.
Value flows. That's why, like, I think the future of money is accounting. Mm-hmm. That's my big thing. I don't think the future of money is like all this crypto shit. I think it's literally just accounting.
It's quicker, eh?
Yeah.
Quicken is the software of the future. Fuck this crypto.
And every accountant in the world just suddenly jizzed. Like, I'm still relevant. No, because like if you think of like money, the problem is that our whole society is like so wrapped up in the idea that money's real, and it's like not.
Yeah.
It's like a complete fake abstraction, but we're so ingrained, like it's such a part of game A that it's just like we just think of it as like as real as like wood, as table, as chairs. Like we think of it as like that is real. But when you think about it, like really what it's trying to do is facilitate the flow of value. And in a healthy economy, you want maximize velocity. You want my $10 to go to you, and you just spend it to another guy, and then spend it to another person, and then it comes back in loops. And those circles should be really, really fast, so essentially, like you just like it's like the lubricant of human activity. Like you want humans to be doing anything, like doing useful, interesting, novel things that progress humanity forward. And money shouldn't be in the way. Like at the moment, money is in the way because it has a limiting factor as to like if you don't have enough, you can't get things done. And then the other thing as well, like people are only really doing things for money where there's another return on money, like a money on money return. And then people chase the wrong incentives and blah, 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 blah. But really, it's all about value flows, which is a big thing in holochain peer-to-peer space. It's all about like just track the flows of value. And you can really just do that with accounting. It's just tracking like where are the numbers going, and it could all happen behind the scenes, and nobody has to even worry about things on a transactional level. They just do what they do, and the rest is just tracked in an accounting ledger. That's my little rant. The future of money is accounting.
Hells yeah. We just get more flowing, right? Like more, it doesn't have to be debt, but if you get more money into people, then they can actually start doing more things with that, making stuff happen. Because they're hamstrung at the moment by not having any money and no ability to make things happen.
Exactly.
I've got good ideas.
Like you want people to do the things they do if they had money, but because they don't, they can't do it. and then they chase all the wrong things. Like, rich people just chase more riches and more luxury items. Poor people want to be rich. It's just like, it's a whole vicious cycle, and very few things actually get done for the point of getting done.
I wonder if BCI could help with that. You had more and more, say, incentives, economic incentives and other incentives as well, of getting people to be more connected to the machine or more connected to other people. Like imagining how BCI would work at the moment, just thinking off the top of my head, is that we're nearly there with our phones. Like everyone's carrying around a computer right now. So the basic idea is that that's just the phone becoming more and more merged with you.
It's a HCI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there we go. It's an HCI. until it just becomes more and more, us. Like we are connected to the computer at that point. And it is a little bit worrying, though, like looking at all of the walled gardens in phones right now. Having walled gardens with a BCI type interface is terrifying.
Oh, yeah. That's always been my fear with like Neuralink. Or once that catches on, like when you have the Apple ecosystem for BCI, the Samsung ecosystem for BCI, the Facebook ecosystem. And it's like you install their branded product, and then you're only able to access their reality.
Yeah.
Metaverse.
Terrifying. Well, yeah, their version of it, and they'll want to take a 30% cut of anything that happens on it.
Yeah.
Good God. I wonder what force is actually going to act against that. Like, is it to keep general purpose computing alive? Because I don't think at the moment that whole movement, it doesn't seem to be doing too well. Like, fully support it. I'd love to do it, but again, like the phones that are out there just aren't competitive. And maybe that's because not enough money is flowing to it. Maybe it'll end up going that way, but I feel it needs a new meme, a new idea, a new push behind it.
Yeah, and you wonder too, like, because so few people at the moment are not really concerned at all about just being locked into these platforms. As we like, obviously, if you tell someone on the street right now, like, hey, would you be interested in, like, well, first of all, you just say, would you be interested in getting Neuralink? Most people would say no. And then if you said like, once they get to the point where like, yeah, I would want to get a Neuralink. If you then ask them on the street and said like, would you be fine getting the Facebook Neuralink and being only stuck to the Facebook platform? I think most people immediately would say no. But then you think like that's what they're already doing now. Like when they choose Apple, it's like you're choosing to play in the Apple ecosystem. When you're choosing to use Facebook, you're choosing to play in that ecosystem. So maybe like as we incrementally move towards these BCI platforms, maybe people will do the same thing and they'll just like gradually just conform to it and won't question it, and they'll just be like, it's okay, like I'm just a Facebook human, I'm a Samsung human, I'm an Apple human.
Man, that could totally be a thing. Hey, yeah, you just are one of the mega corporation. That's how they become bigger than the nation states, right?
Yeah. Imagine the tribal warfare there. The tribal warfare becomes like corporate warfare, like corporatism with their own drone armies.
Yeah, hell's yeah. Well, with their own satellites and stuff, right? They're all networked. They don't even need to rely on, say, like, people providing the internet to them because they've got the satellite beaming down. So long as they can just get in orbit, get their satellites orbiting, you pick which shell of satellites you're going to actually belong to. Oh, I don't like that.
BCI fanboys. Apple versus Google fanboys, but they're tapped in. They're a hive mind.
Yeah. Well, there can't be censored at any point, unless, like, with full-on violence, say, shooting them out of the sky. But like, if you have a lot of corporations having their own satellites up there that they fully control, and they'd probably just for redundancy purposes have their own, like, rockets that can add more to them. Like, they become so stupidly powerful at that point. Yeah. I wonder if SpaceX is thinking of something like that, like locking it down. What are their? I wonder what their actual what you have to agree to actually use their service and stuff. I wonder if they've got any weird shit on it. They'll censor things like is it that the US that, say, if you're using, like, the internet over in Portugal, and the US is like, oh, well, we want this website blocked, and because SpaceX is a US company, they're going to block it from you accessing it even in Portugal.
Wow. Yeah, it's a bit like how we have like ISPs in Australia block certain content. And
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fuck, a global content moderation system enforced at the ISP level. That's fucked.
By the satellite, because, you can go anywhere and do that. I'd like to know what SpaceX does with that. I wonder if the US has any block sites. Because, in Australia, it's like with DNS, it's just DNS limiting, so it's not hard to get around. But still, they are actively blocking it. What about, like, Sci-Hub and stuff? I always hear that. Doing shit.
Yeah. Well, I always just run in Cloudflare Warp, which is like kind of like a VPN, so that just bypasses all the blocking things by default. It's only when I turn it off, I'm like, oh, that website's blocked. That's a legal website I get all my TV shows and movies from.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
Scary shit, though.
Like, satellites is one of those things where it makes sense to be like a commons owned, like global public utility. But it never happened that way. Like, even with GPS, like I remember when I first found out about this, I was like, what the fuck? This makes no sense. Like, we all use GPS, which is like, it was, I think it's owned, it was created and it's run as kind of as like a public good by the US military. But the GPS system is only one of many. So Europe has their own system. China has their own system. I think Russia possibly has their own system.
I don't know.
And it makes no sense. Like, it's like, it makes no sense to have all these different systems. Like, maybe it's great for redundancy if you just step outside, but like, literally the only reason they're doing it is because if the US declares war on China, the US is just going to like shut off China's access to GPS. So obviously they have to have those systems. So the game theory of it all is like everyone has to have their own like GPS system when really they don't need their own. They just need like one. So you get all this like space junk, satellite space junk. So I reckon the same thing will happen. It already is happening now with the internet satellites. You've got Starlink, you've got OneWeb, you've got Amazon doing their version. So you're going to have like a fucking 100 companies with like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of satellites that all do the same fucking thing. Just because like it's the game theory, competitive capitalist game theory playing out in space.
Yeah.
When space by definition is like a commons.
I find it very hard to grasp the size of space. So thinking about like, how fast the satellites are moving and, one colliding with another, like, getting the runaway Kessler syndrome and stuff. But like, is that something really to worry about? Like, how many do we need up there until it starts becoming an issue? Because like the Earth is big. Like, just the land mass is big. And so then you go to space and it's like, orders of magnitude bigger because it's a shell around the Earth. But plus you can go higher or lower. It doesn't have to be in that one plane. So it makes me think there could be a lot of satellites able to get up there. But it'd be good to know the actual limit. And like, how safe would we feel? Like, say it's a 1% chance of a Kessler syndrome happening, or, what do we say is relatively okay? Because who can police that? You start just shooting them out of the sky.
I'm sure humanity will skirt right up to the line
Oh, yeah.
and then cross it.
Yeah. Oh, let's just go a little bit further. It'll be right.
We've already done that with climate change.
Yeah.
we're like, whatever. How much? What? Who knows where it could go wrong? Like, let's just keep going.
I hope that it's like general purpose computing, but for satellites, and then general purpose computing for everything. I don't know if we put out. Let's just put the decentralization, like with crypto and all of that, with money. Like maybe it is worth that whole decentralization aspect being put up into satellites and orbiting that way. Because at least say with like Ethereum and others out there, you can't prevent people from operating their own programs on that. Like you just can't stop them from doing that. So if they had their own shell and like maybe a whole decentralized ISP, like a decentralized way to actually get access to that shell of satellites, that would be kind of cool. The problem is that it's so stupidly slow right now, so you couldn't actually run anything too interesting on it.
But it's like you would think, I guess it kind of does make sense having stuff as a satellite to be more decentralized. I mean, like more accessible, more inaccessible from authorities. Maybe is a better way to put it for this. But then it's like, well, they could still just ban all the things you need to access, like the receivers.
Yeah, exactly.
the sender receivers, like so. Yeah, at that point, it's just like, well, you may as well just like stick to a ground-based computing thing anyway.
Well, yeah, true.
Same thing. Like if they can ban the ground-based computers, then they can ban your little satellite receiver.
Yeah. I mean, just go back onto the whole thing of like mesh networks and stuff. We don't need to be in space to actually allow people to talk to each other. That's cool.
But it'll be cool doing space calls. Imagine BCI, you just call someone telepathy through satellites with lasers.
Hells yeah.
Not even sci-fi. That's just like the physics of that is just like inevitable.
Well, isn't that Starlink right now? Like it's all just laser communication between them, and you do a video chat over Starlink. There you go.
Yep.
We live in the future.
So it's like neuron to neuron communication at the speed of light across the globe, anywhere to any person.
Hells yeah. Mesh your neurons. Get them together.
And then the bad side of the money will be like, and we charge you a microtransaction for each neural thought.
Yeah, every time you use this software running on this neuron, this thought.
Yep.
We take a percentage of that thought.
You patent neural pathways.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Whenever a neural firing goes off, you own the patent to that, so you get a royalty. So if you think the wrong thought, you get charged for it.
Oh, that's amazing. You can make it recursive. So you think of this one thought, which leads you to another thought. You just get all of your money siphoned away.
Don't think of a pink elephant.
Yeah, I own the pink elephant. Well, imagine
you think
Disney.
of a pink elephant.
You thought of any Marvel superhero? We get a percentage of that. You're not allowed to imagine that you're Indiana Jones. We own that character. God, you can just see their legal argument right now. They're thinking about it. We own this character, and the character is now being inside their mind. It's just a new medium. We own the rights to that. Whoa, well, that's that's an awesome thought to end it on. Very disturbing, though.
There was some protopian things in there too.
There was.
If you mash them all together, it comes out net protopian.
Hells yeah. Cool. Oh well, let's leave it there.
Sweet. Till next time.
Bye, people. Yeah, next time will be the last one of season 1. This is the second last one.
Season 1. We're calling them seasons.
Yeah, totally calling them seasons.
So pro.
Bye.
Bye.